Right, like I said guys, wow, that went with one boom. I were actually burning a fire. So I got a fire going. That's why I heard boom, then all the locals came out. Wow, that must be thousands and thousands of feet high. You know, that ash cloud, probably sulphur. The volcano, she's in the clouds now. Hopefully we can actually get the volcano when she's out of the clouds. And that looks like a really dark fire cloud. Don't know. Wow. One big boom. See guys, the volcano has erupted here on Concilian, our place. Hi guys, the KANLAON. Wow, she went with a big boom. And you can see all the sulphur, you can see the big ash cloud. Wow, it looks like someone actually dropped an atom bomb. And as you get the big mushroom cloud, wow, absolutely spectacular. Very, very dangerous. Even now, guys, you know, there's warnings, there's ash all over cars, but there is now still warnings. So, you know, it's on high alert, the KANLAON Volcano, very high alert. So I hope everyone's safe and taking care. I hope there's no background music on this video, but you know, I hope everyone's fine and taking care. So that's the mighty, crazy KANLAON Volcano. KANLAON Volcano here on Negros. Wow, what a spectacular spectacle. Absolutely wonderful. Good morning. Right, good morning everyone. 6 o'clock. And we're going to have a look at the KANLAON Volcano. So we have a little walk this morning. KANLAON. So looks like there's a lorry. That's it, she's in the clouds. A lot of it, well, quite a little bit's in the clouds, but you can see most of her this morning. So we're on a little walk. Fabulous this morning, no music. So we're actually making it without any music. So that's because we're up at 6 o'clock, but there'll be music soon, I'm sure about that. That's where I was actually. I was stood there burning rubbish. So I just started to burn some rubbish there. And then that's where I heard it. I walked back there because it was quite hot, the fire was quite hot, so I walked back to here. And then that's the KANLAON Volcano, and boom. So that's your big boom. So, you know, she's very active actually, the volcano. Very active 2024. What will 2025 bring? Who knows? Volcano or not. Hopefully I'm back in England. And actually chatting to Joveline about England. Not that she's really interested and not though she really listens. So simple as that really. So that's just how things go. So I'm going to have a little walk. And I've actually just got out of bed. Drunk a cup of water. Can see 3 or 4 dogs. And some chickens on the road. Right, so what am I going to chat about? There was something I wanted to chat about, but because it's so early in the morning, not really early, I'm not sure what I actually want to chat about. But I'm sure I've got a topic. Hardship here in the Philippines. not just hardship here in the Philippines. You know, even in the UK, a lot of people think they're actually hard done by. You know, if you've got no hot water in the morning in England, wow, it's a big problem. You know, if you've got no chicken, or you've run out of beans or eggs, it's a really big problem in England. If the TV's on the blink, big problem in England. You know, if actually you're in England and you're actually driving a car and a motorbike comes across, or a car pulls out, you know, the guy wants to chase you down and fight you. You know, lots of things in England where a lot of you guys actually think you're very, very hard done by. So that's it, look. That's the volcano. So you think you're hard done by. And we're actually chatting and laughing about it yesterday night. Because we don't have a TV. So, you know, a lot of people wouldn't really be able to do that. You know, they won't be able to do what people like me can actually do. You know, you won't be able to do it, would you, to be honest? You know, you'd come here for a week, there's no TV, you know, you're eating rice, one egg in the morning, then your next meal's rice, and it might be, I don't know, I can't really think, you know, rice and not much else. So it might be rice and whatever, another egg if you're lucky. So, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that, would they? You know, they'd have to go back to their own country. And then, you know, you've got foreigners here in the Philippines, and what happens with a lot of these foreigners in the Philippines, you give in, so you go onto the streets, but you stay there in the streets. And you've got this idea, oh, I'm not going to go back to my own country, I'll stay here. And you're on the streets. And to be honest, I actually do not know what happens to you. So there's a carabao out there. She's got two egrets there at the side. I don't know if you can see her. Let's have a look. No, you can't see her because there's no light on this phone. You know, it's quite dark in places, so to speak. So you wouldn't be able to do that. You know, if your washer broke down in England, you'd be stuck. You know, you'd probably have a bad temper, and oh, washer's broke, what we're going to do? Oh, we can't do washing. But they don't use washers here, they use hand wash. You know, so things in England, even though a lot of people think they're hard done by, you know, they're really, really not, are they? But, you know, here in the Philippines, because it's quite poor in quite a lot of the places, I'm not going to walk down there into that rice field. So, you know, you wouldn't be able to do that. You just wouldn't be able to do it. And you'd be here a week, and you'd be off back to your own country if you had to eat just rice. And you were limited to 2 cups of coffee a day. You've got no TV. You would not be able to do it, a lot of you people. And if you went on holiday and you were in a 5-star hotel, you know, and you were in a 5-star hotel, this guy get past, you're probably one of the sugarcane workers, who knows, right? You wouldn't be able to do it, would you? You'd go down and you'd complain, oh, TV's not working, that's not working. You'd complain about it. Well, a lot of you would, and a few of you wouldn't. So you've got me drift. So, just a minute, because I've got something in my shoe. So flip-flops. And so that's what we were laughing about actually last night. And I'm still like a zombie actually. This is the best time to come out, very, very early in the morning. There's no music playing, and actually, as well as no music, it's quite nice and it's quite breezy. And the sun isn't up, so it's not hot. And that's something else, you know, you do really get very bored. If you've got no TV here, you've got very, very little money, you will suffer here. So we do suffer. And as a foreigner running out of money, you know, you can't work here, you can't do this, you can't do that. But you know, so you've got your hardships. Then you've run out of money here. Looks like these guys are going to work and all in fields. So they go very, very early to work in fields here, guys, because it's nice and mild. Now, if they go 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they set off for work in the fields. Let me go down here. So that's what they do. They actually go for work. They work, the spiders' webs all over the place. So that's what they'll be doing. They'll be going to work in the fields because it's nice and mild. In another hour or two, you'll see them walking back. So it might be 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9. About 10 o'clock, you'll see them walking back. And then when it gets a little bit milder and the sun starts to go down, 2, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock-ish, you see them walking back to the fields. And that's because it's so hot all day and you cannot walk around here because it's very, very, very hot. And then you sweat a lot, you get a rash. So you actually, this is the old piggery. So you actually, and a guy actually used to live in this little bit of a mango forest, as I call it. And he used to have his pigs and he's got a well in there. And he lived in a baikubu. He lived in a, there's a lot of flies around this morning. So he lived in a little bamboo house, but he's moved actually, and he's actually across there somewhere. So that's where he is now. So, you know, things you just won't be able to do, would you? So that's what they do. They head back to the fields. Always watch where I'm walking because I know for a fact, I know what's in here. So, don't know where that baby carabao is. She was there last night. So that's where she was. So, that's what I thought, you know, you won't be able to do it, would you? You know, you just won't be able to do it a day. See, it's very dark in here. So let me try and find a light spot. Or better still, go back into the field. Let me just show you, look. That's the KANLAON Volcano. Is she dangerous? Well, who knows, like I said, does it matter? Not really. So, if you live here, maybe it does. Right. So, basically that's it, guys. You know, you just won't be able to do it, would you? Excuse me. So, that's my little chat this morning. Don't know what I've done to my shoulder. So, don't know if I've been laid on it. Feels like I've actually feels like I've tore it. So whether I have or not, I don't know. Right, I can see there's quite a few people walking on the path there. So we'll walk this way. Not exactly ideal. I'm just wondering where that, she probably laid down somewhere. So let me walk this way. Right, not exactly fabulous, but it's not too bad. So that's it, you won't be able to do it, you know, you won't be able to do it. So, going back to England, so we're off back to England, we get back to England, and then I was saying to Joveline, like I said, she don't listen, I don't think she's that interested, to be honest. So, you know, simple as that really. Go back to England, where do you stay? You've got nowhere to stay, you've got nowhere to stay, you've got no money. You go and sign on unemployment, because now you're unemployed, you've got no money, no house to stay. Right, so basically it's not going to be fantastic when you go back to England, is it? And if you go back in winter, next year, early winter, it don't really matter actually, so long as you can actually get back to England. But you know, like I said, it's not going to be very, very, very easy. Don't know why them two are going really, really slow. Let me try and find a spot. That's better. So you go back to England and it's not going to be actually easy, is it? But that's just life and that's just how things work out. And you just have to overthinking. So that's all I was doing last night. Overthinking, thinking, planning. And it's basically pointless to do that to a degree. You might as well, once you get back, you'll just be on the streets of England somewhere. And, you know, what do you do? So you're in England now, you've dropped off a plane, what do you do? Where do you go? Well, to be honest, I think what I'll actually do is walk the streets. Now, do I go back to Barnsley? Probably. So I get back to Barnsley. Right, how do you sign on unemployment? So you go to unemployment and you tell them score, you tell them what's happened, basically, and then you need an address. So you need an address for everything, don't you? You know, things have just changed. I'm just looking at that tractor, he's going up there and he's making a big noise and a big rackle because it's quite bumpy up that road. So you need an address, you get back to England, you get back to your own country, wherever it is. What's your address? I ain't got one. Where are you living on streets? So, not really sure about that one, but that's where I'm tipping that's where I will actually end up. I'll end up on the streets. So, in a forest. I can hear now, so I'll speak up above it. I can actually hear the, hold on a second guys. I can actually hear the church bell. So that means it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Right, Concilian, normally 6 o'clock, 6:05. You can actually hear it. So, you're stuck, aren't you? So, you've got nowhere to stay, nowhere to live. You go and sign on your unemployment. Well, you can't really sign on because you haven't got an address. So you have to get some type of address. If you haven't got a phone number, you haven't got an address, you're stuck. Then you can't upload your videos because you've got no internet. But there's always a way, we'll find a way. So it's just a case of actually finding somewhere in England, walking the streets. Then you start to think, well, I've done this before. So luckily I have actually done it before. Not a good experience. So what do? Well, actually I was actually thinking about that. Where do I actually get dropped off? You know, do I get dropped off in Barnsley? Do I get dropped off in Manchester to walk the streets? Do I get dropped off in England? And what I actually off at plane, right, and just get on a train and head for a city? And that's what I was actually thinking. Well, because I'm trying to speak above this music, right, this noise. So just a moment.